What if I told you that the food you eat on a day-to-day basis is also killing you? That is a pretty bold claim, I hear you say, but it is true. More and more we are hearing about how nutrition and many of our modern-day first world diseases are connected with what we eat. With movements like the paleo diet and especially the organics movement, we are seeing a resurgence of not only making sure that we are fed, but that what we put into our bodies is good for us. One of the first things that my gym trainer asked me when I started going to him was, "How many times a week do you eat out?" After I told him about once or twice, he told me that it would be best if that was moved to 0, because the more you eat out, the less you will lose when you are trying to lose weight. That, many years ago, began my personal investigation into why that would be, and that in turn turned me on to the dangers of processed foods. Health and nutrition, more and more recently, have been shown to be linked. This is not really a surprise when you stop and think about it. It is widely known, after all, that if you eat garbage food, you will in turn feel like garbage. The traditional Chinese medicine doctors also have known this for centuries, as diet is one of the most important parts in the healing process and for improving overall health. One of the books that I have as I study Chinese medicine has for the sum and entirety of the book, which is entitled Ancient Wisdom, Modern Kitchen, is recipes for healing meals or meals that are specific for gaining certain nutrients that your body may be missing out on and have a need for. While that is only one of my books that I have on nutrition, another deals with what nutrition can do not just for your body, but for your mind as well, for good and bad. The point of all this is, what you put into your body is important, and it affects much more than just your waistline or your trip to the bathroom scale. While we cannot place enough emphasis on what you eat, this is a matter that is a serious one. We all require food to survive. That is a fact. It is due to this fact that it is of the utmost importance that we look at the food we have put into our bodies and what benefits are to be gained by them. This is a matter that every one of us must examine for ourselves. As a result of this, we must be careful who is telling us what is nutritious for us and what is bad for us. Remember, companies have PR departments for a reason, and they are not usually looking out for you. So right off the bat, let's get the definitions out of the way. There is some confusion that occurs when discussing what is that which is real versus processed foods. I obtained this definition from the online journal medicalnewstoday.com and found it to be a good point of reference to clear up the confusion. Starting with real food, while this food may be separated mechanically, it does not alter the original food. A single ingredient, no matter what form it takes, is still that same product. Conversely, what is usually referred to as processed foods are foods that have been changed at the chemical level. This could include things such as taking ears of corn and creating high fructose corn syrup, which is a sticky and syrupy substance that is more sugar than vegetable. You'll also hear that type of processed food, also called ultra-processed foods, or foods that are almost completely chemically made. Again, this is different than mechanically processed. A machine may shred the meat off of a chicken. That meat is still unaltered chicken meat. The dangers and benefits that come from these foods are what we need to look at. The greatest dangers that come from these ultra-processed foods is what chemicals they are made up from and how those chemicals react to our own bodies. In seeing and detailing these dangers, we will be able to show the earlier statement made, our food is killing us. The greatest dangers that come from these unprocessed foods is their general reliance upon sugar. Sugar is one of the sweetest discoveries that man has made and has made its way into many aspects of our day-to-day lives, everywhere from in your coffee to that frozen TV dinner you pop into the microwave at work. More on that TV dinner in a moment. But both white sugar and high fructose corn syrup have no nutrient that the human body requires, but it is a high-calorie item. This causes quite a few problems for the human body. According to a study done by the Harvard School of Public Health and published in an article by Livestrong.com, some of the harmful effects of excess sugar includes heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and cancer. Heart disease is one of the greatest killers of adults in the United States, and this is greatly due to an excess of these sugars. These sugars trigger harmful levels of cholesterol and increase fat accumulation, which places even more stress upon the body, therefore weakening the entire body's immune systems. One of the greatest problems is that it is not always clear how much sugar is in products. Going back to the example of the TV dinner, sugar is an excellent preservative, which is why many of your frozen freezer products you will find have sugar in them, even the products you would think would not include sugar, such as frozen lasagna. We also see this in such items as the one I have here. While this is made with real blueberries, as it says on the package, it has also been produced with genetic engineering, and for only 2 of these items, they contain 23 grams of sugar and 120 calories. We can also find hidden sugars within the healthy sports drinks and many of these snacks that we would consider healthy, such as fruit snacks. More and more, if you keep your eyes open, you will see that we have been inundated with sugary foods all around us, much to the harm of our own bodies. As was previously stated, there is a growing concern with the snacks that are given to children that are marketed to us as healthy, but have more sugar than giving them actual fruit. Because of this, we are seeing more and more cases of childhood obesity, which is leading to more and more childhood diabetes, and like with adults, is being more common for childhood cancers to occur. In a study debuted by the Nutrition, Metabolism, and Cardiovascular Diseases Journal, showed that not only was there a danger of childhood diabetes, childhood obesity, there was found that these foods themselves were found to be addictive in nature and attractive to children especially. This means that the sugar industry is creating from a young age addicts who, when they come into adulthood, will continue to pile sugar into their bodies, damaging themselves as they go. If you learn a bad behavior young and do not change or educate yourself as you age, you get what we have today, a nation in the middle of a health crisis. In addition to sugars, here are a few everyday chemicals that are used in processed food that all have proven health problems attached to them. Nitrates and nitrites are used primarily in the preservation of meats, giving it that nice and red look. They were found in a 2010 Harvard study that a daily portion of 1.8 ounces of this processed meat resulted in 42% higher risk of heart disease, in addition to a 19% higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Also, we have propylparaben, which is found in processed items such as beer, pickles, and jams, have been proven to be an endocrine disrupting chemical that decreases sperm counts, lowers testosterone, and accelerates the growth of breast cancer cells. A 2013 Harvard School of Public Health study found an association between the chemical and impaired fertility rates in their group of women. We have seen that processed foods have some of the deadliest chemicals used in them that we in turn put in our own bodies. With links to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and obesity, it certainly comes as a surprise to me that there is not more information out there that is easily accessible for the general public about the dangers that come from what they eat and drink. With just a little bit of research, however, it is possible for anyone to find these facts out for themselves and to educate themselves. Knowledge is what we need, as nutrition is the root of health. Remember, you can't put garbage in and expect not to get garbage on the outside.